Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the annual budget address and the State of the Town address. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 7:20. May I have a roll call, please? Here.
Here.
Thank you very much. May I ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask you just please stay standing for a moment of silence for all of those that we lost, all of our troops overseas fighting for us, all of our public servants. Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to welcome you all again, like I said, to the annual budget address and the State of the Town address presented by the Mayor, Mayor Joseph Carfora. I know this was a big undertaking, no pun intended. A lot of work went into this, and a lot of work continues to go into this, making this town the best town in Connecticut, in my opinion. So welcome to everyone, the department heads, the public, and all the elected officials. Thank you all for coming. So at this time, it's my honor to present Mayor Joseph Carfora for the 2026-2027 budget address.
Good evening. Can I have everybody stand up again? There was a shop teacher here at the high school who was very well loved by everyone, Mike Iavarone. Great guy. I met him a few times. He passed away yesterday, so can we have a moment of silence for him? Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the Town Council, members of the Board of Finance, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Adam Swinney, our department heads, our town employees, and most importantly, the residents of the town of East Haven, good evening. As your mayor, I appreciate the opportunity to stand here tonight for the 7th time and talk to you about our state of the town. East Haven is better equipped, is better prepared than in the past, and moving in the right direction with a strong foundation for what comes next, even in a challenging environment. Over the past several years, we made a commitment to do work that others avoided. We addressed long-standing issues. We made difficult decisions, and we put our town on a more stable and responsible path. That work was not always easy. It was not always popular, but it was necessary. And the results speak for themselves. You could see it in the services we deliver to our residents every single day. You could see it in the expanded recreational opportunities and the quality of life improvements across our town. And you could see it in the investment and the development that continues to move East Haven forward. So let me be clear, we are not immune to the challenges facing municipalities across this state and this country. With rising costs, contractual obligations, unfunded mandates, and economic pressures continue to impact how we operate. But the difference is this: we planned for this, and we prepared for it, and we are ready. Because of the decisions we have made and the discipline that we have maintained, East Haven is in a position not just to manage through these challenges, but to continue moving forward. And that is exactly what we are doing. And tonight I want to walk you through where we are, what we have accomplished, and where we are headed as a community. Because the story of East Haven is no longer about catching up. It is about continuing to build what comes next. Our public safety remains the foundation of any strong community. And in East Haven, that foundation is solid. Every single day, our police and fire departments answer the call, often in situations that are unpredictable or dangerous and ever-changing. This year alone, our police department responded to over 28,000 calls for service. And they demonstrated the level of responsibility they carry and the trust our residents place in them every single day. Our police department continues to adapt to the ever-changing demands of modern law enforcement. Just this year, they achieved a Tier 3 state accreditation, and we implemented advanced license plate reader technology and expanded traffic calming initiatives that directly respond to the concerns we hear from our residents every day. And we have also important investments in equipment and readiness, including the addition of a SWAT vehicle, ensuring that our officers have the tools they need to respond effectively in critical situations. But just as important as readiness is how we serve. We have continued to strengthen the connection between our department and the community, including the addition of a social worker in helping to address situations that require care, support, and intervention beyond traditional enforcement. And that matters because public safety today is not just about enforcement. It is about understanding, communication, and trust. Our police and fire officials know that trust is built every day. And whether it is National Night Out, or the Battle of the Badges, or the Battle of Havens hockey game where over $40,000 was raised for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, or the many police athletic league programs that support our youth. Our officers are present, they're engaged, and they're invested in the people they serve. That same level of commitment extends across both departments. Our fire department responded to more than 5,400 calls for service this year, and the majority of which were medical emergencies. Think about that for a moment. That means tens of thousands of times someone in this community needed help, and our firefighters were there to deliver, and they delivered babies also. With the help of Fire Chief Matt Marcarelli, they have secured grant funding to enhance their capabilities and to continue to invest in the infrastructure that supports their work. That includes the expansion of the Foxen Fire Station, a critical project that will improve response time, strengthen coverage, and better position the department to serve the residents in the Foxen area for many years to come. And through it all, they continue to operate with a level of professionalism and readiness that our residents depend on every single day. And you'll see that same commitment not only on emergency calls, but at community events, in our schools, and in the everyday moments where they connect with the people they protect. Public safety is not just about response. It is about preparation, it's about training, and it's about having the right people and the right resources in place before something happens. And that's exactly what we have here in East Haven. To our police officers, our firefighters, and their families, I want to thank you, because it's very important that those individuals go home every night safe to their families. Your commitment, your professionalism, and your willingness to serve this community does not go unnoticed. And as your mayor, you will continue to have my support. Public Works Public Works is where residents see the impact of their government every single day. And this past year, that impact has been visible across our entire town, from road paving and drainage improvements to park upgrades and town-wide maintenance. Our Public Works team has been everywhere, handling both planned projects and unexpected challenges with consistency and professionalism. We completed road work and infrastructure improvements across our multiple neighborhoods, and we addressed those drainage issues to prevent future flooding and continued our commitment to maintaining safe and accessible streets for our residents. Our Public Works team has also played a major role in improving the appearance and functionality of our public spaces. From the completion of the beautiful new gazebo on the town green, including new landscaping and tree plantings, to beach maintenance and park upgrades and the installation of new amenities throughout our town. And these are the improvements that people see and use every day. I was especially proud when our work on the East Haven Town Green gazebo received recognition at the state level under the ADA. Our newly reconstructed gazebo was designed with accessibility in mind, and that effort didn't go unnoticed. It was recognized as one of the most accessible stages in the state, and our town received formal recognition for that work, and that is something we should all be proud of, because it reflects a simple idea that our public spaces should be open and welcoming and accessible to everyone. And Public Works supported community events, and they maintained our fields and facilities and ensured that our town remains a place that people are proud to call home. And when those big storms hit, they were out there very early and staying very late, making sure our roads are safe and our communities keep moving. This is not easy work, and it often goes unnoticed, but it is essential. And in East Haven, it is being done the right way. Economic development. We are seeing real measurable growth across East Haven, and it is not happening by accident. The level of activity reflects something important: confidence. We consistently talk with developers regarding long vacant and underutilized properties to put them back into productive use. Projects like the redevelopment of the former Seasons property, along with continued investment along our Route 80 and I-95 corridors, are transforming those areas into active commercial spaces, because every time we take a property that was sitting empty and bring it back to life, it strengthens our tax base, supports local jobs, and signals that East Haven is moving in the right direction. At the same time, we continue to support businesses that have been part of this community for years, while creating opportunities for new ones to come in and grow. But economic development is not just about buildings. It's about creating an environment where investment makes sense. It is about improving our infrastructure, addressing long-standing challenges, and making sure that when opportunities arise, we are ready for them. And that is exactly what we are doing. And the result is clear. East Haven is no longer waiting for investment. We are positioning ourselves to attract it, support it, and sustain it in a way that benefits this entire community. A strong town is not measured by development. This is about recreation and youth services. It is measured by the quality of life of its residents. And in East Haven, you can see all those quality of life efforts in action every day. Our recreation department continues to expand programming and participation across all age groups, creating fun and social activities for families and children and seniors to stay active and engaged. From youth sports and seasonal programs to community events and activities throughout the year, Our recreation programs are bringing more people together than ever before. Our parks, our fields, our town green, and our facilities are being used, enjoyed, and filled with activity. And that is exactly what we want to see, because these are the places where families gather, where kids grow, and where the community connects. At the same time, our Youth Services Division is continuing to expand its reach. After-school programs has grown, and participation in the Teen Center has increased, and more young people are taking advantage of the safe, structured opportunities being offered there every day. But beyond the numbers, it is about impact. It is about giving our young residents a place to go, a place to feel belonged, and the support they need to succeed. And that is something that benefits not just our youth, but our entire community. Our senior center. At our senior center, participation continues to grow with more than 300 active members and a wide range of programming offered each month, from daily activities and social events to health and wellness programs and transportation services with our newly acquired senior bus. In outreach, the center has become a place where our seniors can stay active, stay connected, and continue to be an important part of this community. And just as important as the program is the sense of connection it provides. Because for many of our seniors, this is not just a place to go, it is a place to belong. Social services. At the same time, our social services team continues to provide a critical support to residents who need it most. Over the past year, they have delivered hundreds of thousands of dollars in assistance through our energy programs, rental rebates, and other forms of support, helping individuals and families remain stable during challenging times. But beyond the numbers, their work is about people. It is about making sure that when someone in this community needs help, that there is a place to turn and a team ready to step in. Animal control. Our animal shelter continues to do incredible work, not only caring for animals, but supporting our community and our neighboring community of North Branford. And with the adoption rate of over 95%, the shelter has become a place where animals given a second chance and families are brought together. And they have expanded partnerships with veterinary providers to offer wellness clinics, helping residents care for their pets, and all the while promoting responsible ownership through the community. The shelter has also created opportunities for young people in our community to get involved, with students volunteering their time to complete service hours while learning the importance and responsibility and compassion. And they are continuing to look ahead with plans to upgrade and modernize kennel facilities to better serve both the animals in their care and the community that relies on them. And this is a department that operates with both professionalism and heart. And it makes a real difference in the lives of our residents every single day. Our library, under the leadership of Sarah Mallory, our Hageman Memorial Library team showed exactly what determination and community service is all about. After a third-party vendor caused significant flooding damage, which forced the closure of the building, the library did not stop serving our resident. It just adopted. Through partnerships across town and the creative use of alternative spaces, our library services not only continued, but in many ways expanded and reached thousands of additional residents in maintaining critical programming for children, families, and seniors. Programs were brought into schools and neighboring town facilities and other locations throughout town, ensuring that access to learning and resources and community engagement never stopped. From educational programming and literacy initiatives to community events and everyday access to materials. The library remained a very vital part of this community, even without a physical home. And in many ways, its reach really grew. That kind of response does not happen by accident. It reflects the dedication of the staff, the strength of our community partnerships, and the commitment to make sure that residents continue to have access to the services they rely on, no matter what the circumstances. Because the library is more than just a building, it is a service, it is a resource, and for many, it is a connection to this community. Hopefully by late April, we will be welcoming everyone back with a grand reopening. And I want to personally thank Sarah Mallory with all the hard work that she's done over the last year with getting this project rolling and continuing, because there's a lot of you out there do not know the severe damage that flooding caused in that building. Give Sarah a hand. Finance and tax. None of this happens without strong financial management. Over the past 2 years, our finance department has worked to modernize and streamline operations, improving internal controls, enhancing transparency, and creating a more efficient structure for how we manage our finances. They successfully implemented new processes while also improving coordination across departments to ensure accuracy and accountability in every step. Our tax department continues to perform at a high level and maintaining a collection rate that's near 99%, while also recovering previously uncollectible revenue and strengthening our financial position. I want to give Shana Akampura a big hand. That consistency provides the stability needed to fund essential services and plan responsibly for the future. Our finance department continues to demonstrate discipline, transparency, accountability in every aspect of our operations. The proposed budget is currently reflecting a mill rate increase of 2.81 mills. That is not a number anyone takes lightly, and it is not a decision that is made casually, but it is important to understand what is driving that number. The majority of this increase is not the result of new programs or expanded services. It is being driven by rising contractual obligations, including wages, employee benefits, insurance, long-term contractual commitments that we are required to meet. In addition, we continue to see massive increases in areas such as special education, insurance, and other fixed costs that are outside of our direct control. These are not optional expenses. They are necessary obligations that ensure we continue to provide the level of service our residents expect and deserve. The reality is this: because of the financial discipline we have maintained over the past several years, we are in a position to manage these pressures in a responsible way. We have built a strong financial foundation, and we have improved our collection rates, and we have identified efficiencies. And we have avoided the kind of instability that many municipalities are now facing. That work matters because it has allowed us to absorb a significant portion of these increases without placing the full burden on our taxpayers. But even with that discipline, there are limits. At a certain point, the cost of maintaining these services and meeting our obligations and continuing to move this town forward must be addressed. And that is where we are. This is not about expanding government. This is not about sustaining it. its responsibility. This is about making sure that East Haven continues to provide the services our residents rely on every single day, while maintaining the financial stability we have worked hard to rebuild. And just as importantly, it is about making decisions today that prevent larger and more disruptive increases in the future. I'm reading this without my glasses. That's why I'm getting caught every now and then. We have built a strong financial foundation, and that foundation allows us to make hard yet responsible decisions in a challenging economic environment. Education. Over the past several years, one of the most important areas of progress has been the relationship between the town and the Board of Education. I'm proud of the relationship that our administrations have developed. It would not be possible without the efforts of interim superintendent Adam Sweeney and R.J. Caponera. If you can give those two gentlemen a hand. And I look forward to continuing our teamwork. We have made a deliberate effort to improve our communication, strengthen our collaboration, and work very hard for our shared goals with this year's budget, and that effort is paying off. The Board of Education has presented a budget that reflects a focus on targeted investments and balancing cost reductions with the need to meet our growing student demands. At the same time, the rising costs associated with student services, particularly in special education, continue to place significant pressures on the overall budget. Those pressures are real, and they are substantial. Special education costs alone have increased $6.5 million. And contractual obligations on the town side account for an additional $5.4 million. These are not discretionary expenses. They are requirements that we must meet, and they have a direct impact on our budget and our taxpayers. We understand how important it is to invest in our students, and we also have the responsibility to ensure that every dollar is spent wisely and effectively. And that is why we continue to advocate at the state level, including trips to the state capitol to secure additional educational cost-sharing funding and support for our students, teachers, and our paras. This includes investments in college and career readiness programs, expanded special education support, and the implementation of state-mandated literacy initiatives to ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed in life. Tweed New Haven Airport. The proposed expansion of Tweed New Haven Airport is, without question, the most significant issue my administration has faced. From the beginning, our focus has been clear and consistent, ensuring that East Haven maintains appropriate control over development within our town, that any impacts are fully understood and minimized to the greatest extent possible, and that the burdens of this project are shared fairly and managed responsibly. The FAA is, at its core, in the business of air travel and expanding access to it. That is their role. But given what we are seeing across the country at our airports today, it is fair to ask whether there are moments where a more measured approach is warranted. I have said it before, and I will say it again. These planes are not going away. Tweed has identified a market, and it is one that appears to be growing, which brings me back to where this all began. Nearly 6 years ago, when I first spoke publicly about this project, I framed it around a few basic principles, shared burdens, shared responsibilities, and fundamental fairness. And I said then that there was a great deal of work that still had to be done. As we began to move through these early stages of this proposal, it became clear that there were efforts to move forward without fully accounting for the real impacts on East Haven. That was not something we could accept. For the past 6 years, I have pushed back on that approach, not with rhetoric, but with preparation, expert analysis, and data. The goal has been straightforward: to ensure that East Haven's concerns are heard and that we have access to accurate information so our staff and experts can fully evaluate what this project means for our town. And above all, that East Haven has a meaningful, respected, and consistent seat at the table when decisions of this magnitude are being made. At times, it was not easy. There were efforts to limit information, to move quickly, and to treat this as something that would simply happen. But over time, that began to change. As it became clear that we were not stepping away from this, and that our team was going to continue doing the work and gathering the data and asking the necessary questions, we began to see a shift. Information that had not been readily available began to come forward. The process became more transparent, and East Haven's role became more clearly recognized. That did not happen by accident. It happened because we stayed engaged, and we stayed prepared, and we stood together. This council supported that effort at every stage. It was bipartisan, it was disciplined, and it remained focused on a single shared goal: protecting East Haven and ensuring that our voice was part of every major decision. In response, we engaged specialized counsel, retained experts, and took steps to ensure that our position was fully represented at every level of review. That work continues today. As far back as 2021, State Representative Joe Zullo and I issued a joint statement emphasizing that this project was not a foregone conclusion and that East Haven's interests would need to be part of any path forward. We made it clear then, as we continue to emphasize now, that this has never been about politics. It has always been about protecting our community. In 2022, those efforts expanded. Along with Representative Zullo, State Senator Paul Ciccarelli, we brought forward concerns directly to Tweed and Airports. Those discussions focused on real issues, including noise, air quality, and the day-to-day impact on our residents. These are not abstract concerns. They reflect the lived experience of the people in our town. By 2023, our attention turned to access and fairness in the process itself. It became clear that East Haven was not receiving the same level of information as other stakeholders, and we made it known that a fair and productive process requires transparency and equal access. At the same time, there was a perception that local review could be avoided. We did not agree with that, and our legal analysis confirmed that local authority remains a critical and necessary part of this process. In 2024, our position continued to evolve as the project advanced, and we raised concerns that decisions were moving forward without fully accounting for East Haven's interest. As we move through 2025 and now into 2026, the landscape has shifted. There is now a broader understanding that this project will require comprehensive review across all levels of government, and that includes state agencies such as the Connecticut Department of Transportation, the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, federal agencies, and most importantly, our own planning and zoning. Our local review will occur. Local authority will be exercised, and it will not be bypassed. That is not a request. That is the process. At the same time, there is growing recognition that the impacts of this project cannot fall disproportionately on East Haven, that there are real impacts and there are real costs. Our police and fire chiefs have done the work. They have outlined what this means operationally and financially. Not assumptions, not estimates, but real numbers grounded in experience. And I want to recognize them for that work. We are now seeing increased engagement from all parties, including Avports and the state, and is developing an understanding that any path forward must include shared responsibility. And this includes not only planning, but also funding and infrastructure support, and particularly in areas such as Coe Avenue, Hemingway Avenue, and Short Beach Road, where existing challenges like flooding must be addressed. Ultimately, this is about balance. It is about ensuring that any progress is aligned with our community can reasonably support. And with today's decisions, do not create unintended burdens on our future. It is also important to be clear about what has changed. The town of East Haven retains all of its legal rights. We have not waived our authority, and we have not limited our review. We have not committed to any outcome. Our Planning and Zoning Commission will evaluate any application independently and based on the record before it. No outcome has been predetermined. If this project moves forward, it will do so through the complete process that includes state traffic and environmental review and meaningful local participation. It must also include state partnership, including funding and infrastructure improvements where impacts are felt. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about an airport. It is about whether a town like East Haven has a meaningful voice in decisions that directly impact its future. It is about whether our residents are heard. It's whether our infrastructure is protected. It's whether responsibility is shared in a fair and reasonable way. And we've made it clear that we will stay engaged. We have made it clear that we will not be rushed. And we made it clear that this process must be complete and fair. That is what has changed. In closing, as we move forward, we will continue to make decisions necessary to protect the long-term future of this town, even when there are difficult ones, because that is what leadership requires. We will all see what is happening around us. And neighboring communities are facing the same challenges with rising costs, increasing obligations, and difficult financial decisions. Our residents see it in the news every day. And it is a reality we are operating in. And the difference is how you respond to it. We will continue to invest where it matters. We will continue to manage our finances with discipline. And we will continue to do work the right way for the right reasons. Because East Haven is no longer trying to catch up. We have done that work already, and now we are building something stronger, a town that is prepared, a town that is stable. We are moving forward with purpose, with direction, and with the confidence that comes from being prepared, and we are doing it together. Thank you, and Mr. Chairman, I'm handing over my balanced budget over to the town council. Thank you and have a safe evening.
Thank you, Mayor. I know that I speak on behalf of the town council and the town, that with you at the helm, we know that East Haven will remain strong and continue strong well into the future. So thank you for your hard work. It's very well noticed. We have 2 items on our agenda. They'll be very quick, but as a point of review, we have to do that on at a special meeting. So item number 3.
Item number 3, to consider and act upon setting a public hearing date for Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, with regard to the Town of East Haven 2026-2027 fiscal year budget.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Mary Ann, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Any abstentions? Hearing none. Item number 4.
To consider and act upon setting a public hearing date for Monday, April 20th, 2026, with regard to the Board of Education portion of the 2026-2027 fiscal year budget.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Mary Ann, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none. Thank you so much. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Good night, everybody. God bless America, and God bless East Haven.